If you want to understand and handle resistance in a negotiation, the best book I can recommend is this, the Handling Resistance Pocketbook. I'm a little reluctant to discuss this though, because the author is me. The Handling Resistance Pocketbook presents my onion model of how and why people resist. It's important to understand that, but in this video I want to focus on the 8 principles for handling resistance that I set out in the Handling Resistance Pocketbook. These principles are all about staying in harmony with the other party because, of course, good negotiation means you need to understand them, build empathy for their position, and remain in rapport as much as you possibly can. The first principle when you meet resistance is to keep focused. Keep focused on your outcome. Keep focused on who you are and your own integrity, and focus on the resources you have to build consensus and agreement. The second principle is to remember your personal power. Project yourself with confidence, enthusiasm, flexibility, and resilience to setbacks. Because negotiation is an interpersonal dialogue, a conversation between two people, and ultimately they're going to do a deal with you. Number 3, when you meet resistance, stay relaxed. Now, I don't mean go all floppy and don't care about the situation. This is a positive, energetic relaxation. But what it's really all about is staying chilled enough to avoid letting your emotions carry you away. When you meet resistance, meet it with calm, meet it with reason, meet it in a rational manner. And number 4 is when you meet resistance, meet it with silence. Sometimes responding to resistance, particularly hot, emotional resistance, with just silence is the best way to diffuse it. Because people hear what they're saying, they hear the way they're saying it, and then they start to add more and they start to calm down. But if you sense your silence is pumping things up, then it's time for a change of strategy. Principle number 5 is to argue them around, to deploy facts and reasons to overcome the resistance. Now, the fact is that when people are emotional, reasons and rational thinking will not change their mind. But if you have deployed your other principles effectively, then there will come a time when they're receptive to your reason and your rational argument, and the purpose in giving it to them is so that they have got a justification for backing down and resisting less. Principle number 6 is to divide up the pie. If they're resisting about all of this, then ask them whether the problem they've got is with this part, or this part, or this part, or this part. If they can focus on 1 or 2 parts, then you can show that actually you're agreeing on the rest of the pie. You're framing a disagreement as being a small disagreement rather than a disagreement around the whole thing. And then take each of the parts where they do disagree, where they are resistant, and break those down. The narrower the slices of pie around which you're disagreeing and around which there is resistance, then the bigger the part of the pie where you agree, and therefore the less intensity the resistance will have, and you can get back to the detail of negotiating around the narrow slithers of pie where there is still outstanding issues to resolve. Next, in responding to resistance, deploy what I call the 4 persuaders. And the first persuader is you, yourself. And this is all about 2 things. Firstly, it's about your credibility, your authority, your ability to speak in a way that people can trust. And secondly, it's your likableness. By being polite, by being courteous, by being accommodating, people will like you. The more people like you and the more they can respect your opinion and your knowledge and your experience and your expertise, then the more they will trust you and the lower their resistance will be. The second persuader is them, the crowd. Not the other side of the negotiation, but everyone else who has an interest in the negotiation. If you can deploy peer pressure by introducing into the negotiation the effect of other people and what they want from the negotiation, or you can deploy evidence that other people have been through a similar negotiation and reached an accommodation, then they will help you to argue round the resistor. Thirdly, the next persuader is, from the point of view of the person that you're negotiating with, their own self-interest. What's in it for them? Go back to understanding their interests and make a concession or an offer that will appeal to them. And if you can't do that, another way to use me as a persuader is appealing to their conscience. This could be about their integrity, it could be about their loyalty, their sense of duty, or their values. But find out what matters to them and link your argument to that. And finally, my fourth persuader is fear. Use this one with caution because it's very easy to use fear as a persuader in a way that lacks integrity and starts to feel manipulative or even nasty. The two main levers that you can use around fear are rarity value and time pressure, or to put another way, scarcity and fear of missing out. If you're prepared to make an offer that no one else can, then that plays into the scarcity thing. And if you're prepared to withdraw an offer if the negotiation fails, then you might trigger fear of missing out. And the eighth principle in the Handling Resistance Pocketbook for dealing with resistance in a harmonious way is to step away if you need to. And the two times when you should always step away from resistance are firstly if you are ill prepared to deal with it, because you don't have the information you need, you haven't thought it through, you don't know what the resistance is all about. Step away. Do your research and come back and handle it with confidence. The other time to step away is where the intensity of the emotions behind the resistance is so high that no proper response from you is likely to be successful. And indeed, if emotions are running too high, it can put the relationship or even physical well-being at risk. So step away. I would say this, wouldn't I? But I think the Handling Resistance Pocketbook is a little gem. If you can get hold of a copy, it is full of great tips for dealing with resistance, not just in a negotiating sense, but when you're presenting, when you're selling, or when you're dealing with change. Please do give us a thumbs up if you like this video. There's loads more great Management Courses content to come, so please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of it. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.